Everybody, welcome back to our channel. This time we are off in Seattle. It's just me and my mom. Chris is in Cancun right now. Later we're going to take an Alaskan cruise with Carnival on the Luminous, I believe. But for today we're going to do the Seattle Underground Tour. It's really interesting. We've done it before, so come along with us. In our day in Seattle, so just an afternoon we got here. I'll tell you, Seattle is really a beautiful city. If you haven't been here, don't believe what you hear online. It's beautiful. All sorts of museums, and this is like a arboretum here, the Sphere, and the understories. Oh, we haven't been there before, but we're doing the underground tour. So come along with us and explore Seattle. We've walked about a mile and a half from our hotel down to sort of the entrance of Pike Place Market. The underground tour starts about a mile down that way, but first we're gonna go find something to eat here in the market. So I think this is the famous area where they do the fish toss, but we were hearing some of the other tourists talk that they don't do it anymore. So this whole area is the Pike Place Market, or what's known as it, and it goes for quite a ways in both directions. Wow, look at them fish. Woo. King salmon, mackerels, all sorts of fresh fish. You want to talk seafood getting expensive? Jumbo lobster leg, lobster tail, $80 a pound. Jumbo king crab legs, $100 a pound. Woo. A lot of the other seafood is around $20, $30 a pound. So it is a famous spot to buy your seafood, but wow, it better be top-notch quality. I think we're gonna wander around a bit more here. So walking around Pike's Place, we decided to stop in here. Crepe de France. It's a crepe restaurant. There's tons of restaurants in here. Seafood, crepe, Italian, Chinese, everything you could ever imagine. It's a really cool place. If you've never been here to Seattle, to check out Pike's Place in the market, you gotta do it. So our food came. I got the tomato crepe. It looks amazing. These crepes are just under $20, so they're between like $13 and $20 for a crepe. And my mom got the spinach, ham, and mushroom. It looks really, really good. So, you know, not cheap, but not insanely expensive. It is probably insanely expensive, but it's worth it. It's an experience, and the food is really good inside Pike's Place. All right, so we're gonna do the Bill's Biddle Underground Tour. It's one of the two that I know of underground tours here in San Francisco. This one is just over $20 a person. It's every hour, and it's about a 1 hour tour. They asked no filming on this tour. I don't know why, but you know, I'll see what I can film, what I can. Really cool. I do encourage you, if you're coming to Seattle to do a cruise, come a day early. Do one of these tours like the underground tour, or get the city pass card, which is really cool. Sorry about the construction behind me. You know, the city sale, you always gotta fly in a day early to wherever you're gonna sail out, and make sure your flight gets there on time.
Yeah. Is room that everyone?
Yeah, we're going into the underground here. Right, we just finished up our opening, I don't know. Lisa, our tour guide, was telling us all about the underground and how Seattle got formed, about the 3 founding fathers of Seattle. It's really interesting, informative, really funny. As always, I just tell you what they tell us on the tour. I don't record with the tour guides because, well, that's their job, and you have to come see it for yourself. So now we're going back upstairs to go into some of the underground tunnels under Pioneer Square. So no matter what underground tour you take, what tour company, you're going to be in the Pioneer Square area. This is where the underground in Seattle is, all built in like the 1870s, I think, somewhere in that time frame. And let's go see what underground we go in first. So I was talking to him. We took the other tour company last time, and they said that both tour companies go in completely different underground spaces. So something that you can't do more than once. Oh, going into our first underground. Wow. So we're in like the basement, but you can tell like these used to be outdoor pillars. All the old plumbing and walls. A little bit of like a display here. Oh wow, look how much this ground has buckled. This is crazy. I don't know if it shows on camera, but the floor is buckled up in the middle here like 3 feet. It's crazy. Up on the wall here, they have some pictures of how Seattle originally was built. You can see these roads. She was telling us that, so Seattle was built as like a lumber town. And so they would take all the saw from the sawmill and just throw it in the streets, and it just turned into like oatmeal with all the rain and seawater coming in. It was a disaster. So these are actually the original storefront windows before the new streets were built above us. And that's the new construction stuff, and this is the old storefront. Our tour guide is going to tell us something here.
First moment to have it happen, a wind comes up and blows the fire to the building next door, which just happens to be Deep Sand Fire.
So our tour guide was telling us the story of how the Seattle fire started in the 1850s. A guy was making glue, which he used to make out of animal hide back in the day. Forgot about it, it boiled over, and that was that. The fire spread from his building to the bar next door, to the mercantile shop, to the hardware store, which carried a lot of bombs, bullets, and dynamite at the time.
I got a question.
So
How come this when we built the building right get far?
this is the original storefront again. And I believe over here she was saying is the original restroom. There it is. That is a true crapper.
Oh, there it is.
That is an original crapper made by John Crapper. Wow. I don't know how well you can see, but it's just an old abandoned building in here. Craziness. So this actually wasn't the basement, it was the original first floor in Seattle. And since it used to always flood, and the tide would come in and do a lot of damage, they moved the first floor to the second floor. It's really neat. Underneath all the modern plumbing and pipes, you can see the original painted fresco up on the wall. So where I am now is the original street level of Seattle. And these streets were actually built up there back then too. So the street would be way up there, horses and carriages, and you'd be walking down here sort of like in a ditch. So after the Great San Francisco Fire, they elevated up the streets to get them out of the mud and the muck and the changing tides. But the buildings had already been rebuilt back down at original street level where we are now. So what they did is build the sidewalks later after about 15 years of fighting between the city who built the roads and the businesses who rebuilt the buildings at street level. So this was the compromise to build these sidewalks. So now we're moving on to where an area that they used during Prohibition in the 20s and 30s to hide their liquor storages. As you can see, all sorts of rehab, still mostly rubble on this first floor. They've been abandoned for the most part for almost 100 years. See all sinks, renovation started, never finished. Over here it looks like this is all new. This or newer than the building, an old renovation. I don't know. Undergrounds are so cool. You just come out through these nondescript, unmarked doors. It's really, really a cool tour. If you ask me, probably one of the best ways to spend a couple hours in Seattle, especially for the price. It's like 20, 25 bucks. Absolutely do this if you come to Seattle for a day or two. So we went back into another underground. Lots of stairs on these tours, just something to be aware of. You see, this is the original street level here. It's probably the original brick streets. They built some platforms in here. It's just so cool.
It's kind of cool where you can see the bricks. Right?
Yeah, the original bricks. Yeah. See, when we were walking out of that other building, they had to put a pump in it because it was flooding, and they had dug a sump pump hole to pump it out.
Bed springs.
Such an amazing area down here. Everywhere you look, there's a new piece, a new article, a new thing to look at. Some old miniatures built for a different business or display that used to be down here. It's just, well, I was saying that was the coal chute where they used to dump the coal in. Oh wow, you can see how screwy-dewy this original ground all is. It's all sunken in and really does feel like an adventure coming down here. I wonder what that used to say. Smoke shop? Maybe? Smokes? No, this one. See the old sign?
Yeah.
All broken and laying down. That's all the light that used to come down here once they put on the skylights. So you can see how degraded the glass is. So the next area we're gonna go check out is, used to be a bank building originally. We're gonna go by the original teller window and then into the bank vault, which later got drilled into and used as a bootlegger storage. So that sounds cool.
Thank you.
This is the old teller's cage right there for the bank. Oh, I see. Like these heavy metal, you could walk up and be a heavy metal door on the front there. And that's where the bank teller was. That's the original picture. That's so cool.
Watch your step down.
Oh, yeah. Step down.
The big walls.
I guess this was the bank vault, huh? Big, heavy steel door, wrought iron. And this is where they broke into the back. We're in the bank vault. We're in the bank vault. Yeah, see the doors right there? That's the bank vault door.
Bank vault door.
Oh, maybe that's the bank. Oh, that's just the other door to the bank vault.
Any behind me?
It's pretty cool. And this you can see, this wall was broken out.
These blank vaults. Like 3 feet thick.
Yeah. It's crazy.
We got some of these.
Ooh. There's a different entrance. We're not going out that one though. It's like a storage room that's still actually in use here. Alright, now we're going for our third building. We're going into the underground end, which it's really cool. It's a really, really amazing tour, especially for the price. Just over $20, absolutely worth it. All right, so now we're in the third underground we're in. I had a fun little sign on the way in, Seattle's one-step program. So the joke used to be when the sidewalks weren't above our head and the street was like 12 feet taller than the buildings, people would fall in between them to their deaths. And over the years before they put the sidewalks in, over 70 men all fell to their deaths, not a single woman. Or so our tour guide tells us. So I think this is the last area we're visiting. This is where their museum is. Some of the artifacts they've collected. Like this is a sample of the lumber that they used to cut down here, the size of these trees. This thing is like 4 feet across, 5 feet across. Some of the saws and tools they use for the logging. Sort of historical pictures and artifacts. So this picture here is a picture of Madame Lou, who was the top madam in Seattle in the 1870s, 1880s, 1890s. And some of these ladies here were her seamstresses that worked for her. As you see, one of the ladies is in black. And that's because, well, you know, I guess back in the 1890s, they were really woke then too. That is actually a man in a dress. So, you know, they provided services to anyone, and appetites were all the same then as they are now. It's a cool display of all the different gambling things they used to gamble with in the saloons, playing cards and dice, mahjong tiles, all their vices, whiskey. Wow, there's a poison in there. I don't know what that is. An old Jack Daniels bottle. That's cool. Sort of a cool little old museum they have here. So this was the end of the tour. It takes about an hour 15. Absolutely worth it. Really recommend it. We're gonna go probably to Pike Place Market a little bit here. It's only about 4 in the afternoon. Tomorrow we're going to take the City Pass. So if you're ever looked into getting a City Pass and you wonder what the Seattle City Pass was, that's what we're doing tomorrow, which will include the Space Needle and the aquarium and harbor tour and a couple of the museums, I believe. So thanks for watching our video today. Probably not that long, but if you're interested in taking the Seattle Underground tour, I would highly recommend it. You know, if you're going out of a cruise out of Seattle, and even if you only have one afternoon, it might be the one thing I do in Seattle besides checking out the Pike's Place Market. Thank you again for watching to the end, and we'll see you all in our next video.